How do I want to tell the story? This is kind of his thing, dating like 20-year-olds. He lied to me about his age. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Fella Friday video. So for those of you who don't know or don't know me, I'm Lo, I'm 22 years old and I make videos about random stuff, vlogs, and especially my dating life. So in the series Fella Friday, I talk about a different kind of fella or boy that I've encountered in my dating life every Friday. So I was gone for a little bit, I'm back, I'm like more excited than ever to make videos about dating and about my life. I definitely have some stories from the past couple of months along with a bunch of older stories. But yeah, I just, you know, in this quarantine times, I feel like it's my duty to share some of my dating stories, especially embarrassing dating stories. So let's jump right into it. Today's Fella Friday is about the older guy. So yeah, this is definitely like an interesting story to tell. I really hope he doesn't see this. I don't know how he would, but maybe he does. Okay, so basically for this we need to go back to November of this year. So I met this guy at a bar in Dubai. And he, you know, he was really attractive. He had like salt and pepper hair and I knew he was older, but you know, I didn't really know how much. I kind of like thought he was in his mid-30s, which I was 21 at the time, have a judgment if you will, but it didn't really bother me that much. And we really hit it off and he was very like touchy-feely the first time we met. Like he was like, he grabbed my arm and started like kind of going like that, and I remember I kind of like pulled away. He was like, oh, is that not okay? And I was like, no, don't worry, like I'm just not used to like guys doing that. And we talked a lot and he even like he kept buying me drinks and he kept asking me like, is, you know, the age difference a big deal for you? And I was like, you know, thinking about it, like I guess not, you know, it's not really that big a deal, and like, oh, everyone always says I'm more mature and I like come across older, so it didn't really bother me. And he was like, oh, all my friends always say I'm like much younger and stuff like that, and he definitely like, he was very fit and did a bunch of stuff I guess that younger people do. So I ended up finding out that his age was 38, which was kind of like whoa, like, and all of my friends were like, what? But you know, we really like were hitting it off and having a good time. And even at the end of the date, like he walked me to my bike and like we kissed, and I, you know, it felt a little bit weird. It was like, whoa, I've never like kissed a guy that's this much older before. But yeah, it was still really cute and sweet. And afterwards we were like texting a lot, and that's kind of where it started getting a little bit like weirder for me. Like he was very, you know, direct about how much he liked me, about like him, you know, wanting to like pursue things with us. He was like, I would love to, you know, just do something crazy, like jump in the car and drive to Paris, or like oh, I want to like book a hotel for us together, which like after one date is like really intense for me, especially because like guys my age, they kind of like the game, like they won't show you they're that interested in you right away, and he was like very much like, I'm interested in you. And I could tell like, because he also kind of wanted to like settle down, which makes sense. He was 38, he was a lot older. So that was kind of like where things for me got a little bit weird, because I thought they were moving like really fast. Like I'm a lot more used to like things going pretty slowly. And he would say stuff like, he worked not too far from where I live, and he was like, yeah, like I can come by right now and like we can just like have a glass of wine, or like I can give you a massage and take a bath together, which like saying it now it sounds kind of creepy. Trust me, like this guy was not creepy, but he was just like very into me and into it. And maybe at his age like things like that moved that quickly, but like I'd only met him once. I didn't necessarily want him coming over to my apartment yet. I didn't necessarily like want that stuff. So we kept like trying to hang out again, but like our schedules just kept like not mixing, and I don't know, at a certain point I was like, it feels kind of like weird, I guess. And the real breaking point for me was on my 22nd birthday. So I had a little party at my house. Peep the vlog that I have from that night. And I basically told like a bunch of my friends, like I wasn't embarrassed of the fact that I was talking to this guy or like kind of like going out with this guy. But like my friends definitely did make a lot of jokes, and I texted him like, hey, I'm having a party right now, like are you in Amsterdam, like maybe we go in the city, like you want to like meet up later. Like I wasn't gonna have him over to my house because, you know, my parents were here and I didn't necessarily need them to meet the 38-year-old guy I was dating. So he texted me like, I can come over right now, like I want to meet your friends, I want to meet like your family. And that for me was like, whoa, like I don't want him to meet my friends. Like I could tell I was kind of embarrassed by the whole situation. which kind of showed me like I wasn't ready to be dating someone that much older. Like it definitely was not him. He was super sweet to me, super nice at the time. We'll get into like the twist of the story. So at a certain point I just texted him and I was like, hey, look, I'm not feeling it. Like, I'm sorry. I think we're looking for different things and like, good luck. And he was like super mature, which I really liked. He replied like, hey, that's totally fine. Like, it's always good to say like what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. So like, thank you for letting me know. So we kind of broke things off, like one date, nothing serious. I think we texted for like 2-3 weeks after that date. So I think like a month I knew this guy. Totally forgot about him, you know, it was over. Like for me, I felt totally fine about it. I was like, I called things off because I wasn't ready. So January rolls around and I go on a date with a completely different guy. I will definitely do a story time about this guy some other time because I ended up dating him for like 3 months. January until like 2 months, January until like end of February. So that's like another story time coming soon. But so January this year, I went on my first date with that guy. And I thought the first date went horribly. It obviously didn't because we ended up dating for a while, but never mind that. Like, I thought the first date was kind of like bad and it just felt awkward. So I get home and you know me, I'm a fucking dumbass. And I also just like love attention and love dating. You know, I can make fun of myself, like that's just who I am. So I just needed attention. I felt like it was a shitty date and I was like, you know, who can I text? Like who? And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna text this guy, this older guy, but I'm gonna follow him on Instagram again. So I follow him on Instagram again and like he's private, so he needs to like accept me. And he like doesn't accept me. I don't get a text from him. So I go to bed, whatever. So the next morning I wake up kind of hungover and feeling dumb that I like followed him and I see I have a message from him on Insta. So he didn't accept me, but I did like see he had a message. So he said like, hey, was that an accident? And I was like, hey, no, I was like thinking about you and I'm kind of sad about the way things went. Like maybe we should like grab a drink sometime to catch up. Which I honestly did feel at the time. I was like, you know, maybe I like didn't give him a chance. Like he was a really sweet guy. So he responds like, oh, whoa, really? Why like weren't you feeling it before and why were you now? And I was like, oh, you know, I think like I was just young and I wasn't, you know, really sure. I wasn't really in a good place. And he responded like, yeah, like we can definitely grab a drink and catch up, but I'm like seeing someone pretty seriously. So I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. Like we were just like went on our date like, and we're talking all of November, and now it's January and you're seeing someone pretty seriously. But like, who am I? Like that's totally his place. So I was like, oh, okay, no worries. Like good luck with everything. Like we shouldn't grab a drink. And he responded like, no, we can still grab a drink. Like we can grab a drink as friends. Like, what are you looking for? Which to me felt weird. I was like, you're seeing someone, like we've gone on a date, we've like kissed. I don't really want to just be your friend. And like, if you're seeing someone, you shouldn't really be texting me this. So I texted him again. I was like, look, you're seeing someone. I don't want to get in like in between that. Good luck. And that was like that for me. I felt kind of weird about it. I was like, why would you text me that? So basically like the next day he texted me again. He's like, hey, like I'm just really curious, why were you texting me again? And I texted him again like, look dude, you're seriously dating someone else, you just told me that, stop texting me. Like I was kind of rude about it, but I was like why are you texting me, you know? By this time the guy from the first date that I felt went really bad, we like started talking again, and you know, I was already kind of like oh shit, I really shouldn't go for this older guy, like I should focus on this new guy. So for me it was completely done over. I was like, nope, no more older guy. It was fun for the experience, but whatever. Okay, so flash forward a couple days, I just like look at his Instagram again. He never accepted me, but I see that like this guy that I know via my aunt like follows him. So he's like a good friend of my aunt. And I happened to be going to my grandma's birthday that day, end of January, and seeing my aunt. So I tell my aunt the story about this older guy, he's 38, and I was like, you know, like telling her how weird it all was, but like it was also kind of a cool experience, and you know, it's always okay to like date an older guy, I think, if you're like both of age, you know, and it's kind of fun. Like I'm kind of one of those people who's like, I want to experience everything once. And I was like, do you know him? Because your good friend follows him on Instagram. She's like, no, never heard of him, like weird. So later that day, like we all leave my grandma's house and I get a text from my aunt like, OMG, yeah, I actually do know him. Like I've never met him, but her really good friend, his best friend is like dating him now, seriously. So I was like, oh, are you serious? Because he was just texting me and now he's seriously dating her. Like feels kind of weird. And she's young too. I think she's like in her mid-20s as well. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, so like this is kind of his thing, dating like 20-year-olds. And so then she like calls me and she's like, yeah, but I heard this crazy story about him. This is a shocker, guys. Apparently when he started dating his new girl, he told her he was 38 as well, and he is not. So a couple weeks later, he had to tell her that he's actually 43. 40 freaking 3, which means that when I like kissed this guy and I already felt kind of like, oh my god, he's 38, he was 43, he lied to me about his age, which that I think is like the saddest thing. Like honestly, I get it, like women lie about their age when they're older because, you know, they don't want to, and I guess men do too, but like when you're dating someone, if I would have gone on with this guy and I would have found out that he was 43 instead of 38, I would literally have been so pissed off. Like, do not start a relationship on a lie. Like, how dumb can you be? And I also just felt like fucking weird about it because I was literally 21 and he was, I thought 38, which is already like a 17-year age gap, which is kind of insane, but like 43, that is literally like more than a 20-year age gap. So yeah, I guess this is a story about how I hooked up with a 43-year-old. Just kissed a 43-year-old. Yeah, and I think like looking back now, like my gut feeling was definitely right. It felt like it was off and like things weren't working, so I'm glad I listened to that, and I'm glad I didn't actually like hang out with him again. I guess this kind of proves like, don't be a dumb bitch when you're like want attention from a guy. Don't text exes, stuff like that. And I guess my tips for an older guy is like, honestly, I think like do your thing, girl. If you want to date an older guy, or if you're a guy you want to date an older guy or an older girl, like totally go for it. I think you should just like be aware that a lot of stuff probably doesn't match. Like I just remember that some of the texts he would send me, like it just, I don't know, like we were definitely in different phases in our life, and like there was certain stuff that I just couldn't get behind. And like I think I was like less open-minded than he was because he really wanted to like meet my friends. He wanted me to meet his friends, which like I was kind of embarrassed. Like, and I think that's the biggest lesson here. Like, listen to your gut feeling. Like if something's telling you like, I don't want to introduce him to my friends, I don't want to introduce him to my family, like if you are feeling weird about it, then like you shouldn't do it. Then it's not something for you. But like if it's totally your thing, go for it. I hope he's super happy with his like 20-year-old girlfriend now. I'm pretty sure they're still together, so good for you. But yeah, that is just like the story of the time I tried to date older and it didn't really work. I feel like I usually do date guys that are like a couple years older, but someone in their 40s is not for me. And I guess for everyone out there, don't lie about your fucking age. Like I never said I was older than I was. So the fact that he said he was younger than he was really like didn't sit well with me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. It was pretty interesting. It was an interesting experience. Like I'm glad I met him. We had a really fun date, and you know, I wish him all the best, but it's just not my thing. And I don't think I'll be stepping into any relationships with like 40-year-old guys anytime soon, but hey, down to give anything a try. So yeah, I'm back to making these every Friday. I have so many stories I want to share with you guys, and just so many funny anecdotes and life stuff. Definitely been dating a lot, so not in the quarantine, sadly. I haven't gone on a Zoom date yet, so maybe I need to try that so I can like film it. But yeah, I have a lot of stories from the fall and like this like January, February that I want to share with you guys. So hope you guys leave a comment, like this video if you enjoyed, and otherwise I'll see you guys next week with another Fella Friday. Bye!